Alright, this is my review of the Kiwi Labs Slice. I first heard of the paddle from the Pickleball Pirates YouTube channel. They said it was soft and control oriented, and those are both two things I look for in a paddle. Even when I used to play tennis, that was kind of like my preference. And then also there's a strong player in my local area that plays with it. So I was familiar from those two things. And I got this in 2024, just a few weeks ago. From my understanding of it, they changed it some. So they made the grip thinner, which I like. And then I think they changed up the weave on the carbon fiber. I placed the order, it came just a few days after, pretty quick. No complaints there. And then as far as the paddle itself, I liked it a lot. It is super soft, really easy on the elbow. I do deal with tennis elbow here and there. I used to when I played with tennis. I try to stay away from the poly strings, and then even at the gym, like if I'm doing like dips or tricep extensions, it can flare it up some. So I haven't had any issues, and I played like a shit ton with it the past 2 weeks, and no issues there. As far as spin goes, I was playing with the Prism Flash previously. That's what I've been using for like the past like 8 months, and this has way more spin than that. This is also thermoform. The Prism Flash wasn't or isn't, and this definitely has more pop on it. It's got like a muted feel, I'd say, so it does take a little bit of time to get used to. Even just like the sound off the paddle face when you hit the ball, it feels like different. Not in a bad way or a good way, it is different compared to like the paddles I used to use, whether it be the Selkirk Power Air or the Vulcan, like the long skinny one, or even the Flash. The one thing I didn't like right outside of the box was I've been trying to play with higher level players these days, and obviously the ball is pretty heavy when it comes off their paddle. So I did feel like I had to add weight to it. I felt like it was a little bit kind of getting pushed around some. But then the minute I did, so I added it right on the top, and then here, 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 here. And then after I added the weight, I've liked it a lot more. Like, this is what I'm going to be using going forward. And I also have a discount code. I'll put that in the description of the video. I think it really excels at the kitchen and on drops and dinks. That was kind of coming from tennis, like the ground strokes, the serves, the volleys, the overheads. That always came naturally to me, but the third shot drops and dinking back and forth at the kitchen line, that's where I would say it was like the weak point of my game, or still is, but it's improved a shit ton. And since using this, I feel like my confidence up there has gotten way better. This is just like super plush and super soft. So I feel like I can put a little bit of weight behind my shot without it like flying or more importantly like popping up on me. The spin is really good, so I like slicing with it, forehand and backhand. Plenty of top spin. With the weight especially, I can get pretty deep returns, deep serves, spinny serves. Yeah, so I like it a lot. Out of all the paddles I've tried so far, this is definitely my favorite. Like I said, I'm going to be playing with it going forward. I try not to switch up too much. I'd rather just work on my game as opposed to having a bunch of different paddles around. Not a knock to anyone that does, but I used to do that with tennis, and then I'd end up with a bunch of rackets just collecting dust. But yeah, I like it a lot. I definitely recommend it. Definitely better than the Prism Flash in my opinion. Better than the Power Air, for my game at least. Power Air definitely had more topspin and pop, but in every other department, I like the side spin on this one more, and it's got way more control. Not even in the same conversation as the Vulcan I used to play with. I think that was for the price point, that just not super great paddle. Yeah, feel free to comment any questions that you have. I'd be happy to answer. Again, I'll put my code in the description of the video, so you can use it, and I think you get 10% off, or like $10 off. The price point for this is also not that bad. You know, a lot of paddles are selling for over like $200 now, which is kind of ridiculous. This is pretty reasonable. And then also at some point in the spring, I'll probably end up getting the Kiwi Lab spiked. It's like another paddle that they have, but it has like the hole that in the throat that the Power Air had, and then it also has a couple on the side and on the top, like the One Shot brand has a paddle that's similar. So I'll probably get that and review it later. But this is definitely what I'm going to be using going forward.